sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow.
Our whole focus is we look at this as an opportunity to be partners with you guys. We're excited to work with Wind Supply. We're excited to work with you guys as contractors because at the end of the day, we all work together, right? If we don't support you guys in the field with warranty, with tech support, then you're not going to have confidence in the product, right? It could be the best product. You can have the most name recognition, have the coolest stuff coming out behind it. But if you're not getting service after the sale, you're not into it, right? It's the same thing with your customers, right? You could do the greatest install, but if your service after the sale isn't there, are they ever going to use you again? Nope. So this all works together, and that's what we're really excited about. Obviously, again, my name is Andrew. I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I've been in the trade since I was a kid. Chased my dad with a toolbox my entire life. How many of you guys have ever seen the Gettle ad where it's the dad with the flashlight and they're like, "Oh, son, thank you for holding the flashlight." I never had that experience holding a flashlight from my dad. I can't tell you how many times I was yelled at. "I'm working over here. Put the light where my hands are." So I never had that experience. Real life experience. But I've been doing this a very long time. And so, I've been an operator. I've owned companies. And we're excited about this opportunity. We see where the market is going. We see so many great technicians, so many great companies being formed, and we're excited to work with you guys. So with that being said, we're going to get into a little discussion, move back and forth with you guys. And I'll let you introduce yourself to the people that don't know who you are.
So I'm Wayne Smith. I'm president of Wind Supply Surprise. Been in the business 30 years this year. Holy cow. I'm old. Not as old as him, but I'm old. And I worked on the contracting side for 17 of those years. So I started off as an installer, running flex duct at Chaz, went to RSI, got promoted. So I never did service. So my service skills are limited. But then I got into something I just was meant to do. I got into the sales side of things. And I just did very, very well on that side. So well, I got poached by a distributor from a contractor I was working at, asked if I wanted to be a territory manager for a small mom and pop guys. Did that for a while, got poached by Ferguson, went there for 10 years as a territory manager for them. And then we came across this opportunity. Wind Supply there's nothing like it. It gives opportunities for just guys in the business that think they can do something. It gives them an opportunity to own their own distribution center. So I think that's the greatest thing is I get to be an owner. I get to make all the decisions. They stay out of my business. I can buy, sell, do whatever I want as long as it's legal, ethical. So I don't have a hierarchy I got to go to. If I want to make a deal with one of you guys, I just make the deal. I don't got to go check with anybody. If I want to bring in a new product that you want, if it makes good business sense, I just bring it in. That's been amazing for me on this side. The Wind Supply is just, so if you've never dealt with Wind Supply, that's what it is. It's a family of probably 750 local companies that the owners probably started off as a warehouse worker or a driver within that company. And now they run some 60, 70, $80 million a year businesses that they're running that they started off as a driver or a warehouse worker. So it's a real, really cool place.
Awesome. Rick, for those that don't know.
My name is Rick Smith. Yeah, we're related. We're brothers. I'm the better looking one.
He's the older one.
And the older one.
Senile.
I've been in this industry since 92. How long is that? I can't even do the math on that.
A long time.
Started off on the contracting side, been a contractor, worked for a contractor, got into wholesale back in 2011, worked for Goodman for a little bit. Then I worked for Ferguson. I was a sales manager. Now I work for Wind Supply, own my own. It's Wind Supply Southwest Phoenix. It's at 67th Avenue in Buckeye. You guys, kind of the same thing with Wayne. We, as coming up as contractors or working in the contractor industry, when we got into this side of it, what was unique about Wind Supply is them allowing us to make the decision instead of having to go 5 layers of hierarchy to get it to, just to, let's say have a DOA unit. I mean, I don't know how many times I got yelled at because I just replaced it. And then I'd get chewed out because, why'd you do that? That cost us money. Like, we did 150 million last year. One little unit we get, these guys are going to save them, right? It's going to save you guys. And I know what it's like to sit across from that homeowner and look at them in the eye and think, it's like they just bought a new car and it don't start, So being able to make those kind of decisions is super important. Thankfully, the equipment that we've been selling, Or I shouldn't even say that. It's probably more the contractors that we've been dealing with lately. We don't really have a lot of issues, warranty issues, because the contractors that we are finding are doing a really good job. So we do appreciate all of you. Bringing on TCL, we're going to talk about that later. Right?
Yep.
Okay. I'll go into that later, but why it's important to us with TCL.
Yeah. So Dan?
I'm Dan, Fact Advisors. I have no clue what I'm doing and why I'm here. I don't have that level of experience. I've been in the trade for about 7.5 years now, with an operating company with it, Andrew and things, a couple different companies now. My background's really venture capital, startup investing and growing businesses, from zero up to, $100 million is kind of the specialty world. I just, when we were as an operating company installing stuff, I was always all about the newest technologies. We talked a little bit about Bosch when they entered the marketplace. That technology was way ahead of its competitors. We jumped on board with that. I always wanted to lean forward into the tech pieces. And when we found TCL, it was really clear that the engineering behind it, the manufacturing behind it, and the AI pieces behind it were way ahead of anything we'd seen. So we leaned into that and then met with the team in Irvine, where they're based here in the United States. And man, it was like, you guys, we got to get this out there. We got to find it. And, contractors should be utilizing this to really juice their margins, build their reputations, built off of a high quality brand. And that's where we saw that opportunity. All of a sudden, instead of, installing units, we're repping. So it's kind of a big shift for us. It's been amazing. And one of the reasons it's been amazing is working with the Wind Supply brand. And again, being able to meet the contractors face to face, work with them, educate them, and allow them to go out and educate their customers and see bigger wins, higher conversion rates, and better margins. So that's kind of the passion. So
Yeah. And that's why we really kind of want to do this, is kind of tell you guys why we're doing what we're doing. Wind Supply is not just a relationship for TCL, in fact, that's located just here in Arizona. This is something that's now, we just brought on a Wind Supply in San Diego. So honestly, from San Diego to Elmsford, New York, which is like crazy up in Buffalo, Wind Supply is carrying TCL equipment, right? And it was important for us to work with Wind Supply because of the things that Wayne and Rick said. They embodied it really well. They're able to be fluid to work with you guys to make things happen that are going to benefit you. So let's talk a little bit about that. We've kind of shown you the product line. We showed you some really cool features and benefits of it, shown you the manufacturing processes, but what does all of this mean? How does this help your business, right? Dan talked about where the industry is going. One of the things I want to talk about is margin for just a minute. How many of us present good, better, best when we're doing our sales? I know I did, right? Yeah, everybody did. When you think of good, better, best right now, Wayne, what comes to your mind when you think about a good, better, best on someone's proposal?
That I'm looking at that middle number, and that's what I'm buying. I don't want to spend the money to buy the high, but I don't want the cheapest. I want something good at a good price.
So what else? What do you guys think customers think about, or what do you think about when you're presenting good, better, best? What's the first thing you think of? Staging, right? Compressor type, right? First stage.
one stage, two stage.
Variable, right? That's a very common one. What else? Price? Cheap, not so cheap, more expensive, right? What else? Brand, right? All of these things go into it, right? And so when we sit there and think about, when we present this equipment, what should we be thinking about, right? A $20,000 invoice on a sale, that makes us all feel good, right? Right? You get a $20,000 ticket, that's awesome. Well, what's happening today with the margins that we're seeing, Rick and Wayne, on this equipment that guys are purchasing? We're seeing it go up or down.
Yeah.
That $20,000 doesn't spend the same way it used to, right? So honestly, if we're cashing checks, we should be cashing margin, right? Should be looking at what's our profit margin on this. And that's one of the things with TCL that we're really excited about, is when you guys present that good, better, best solution, you can start using TCL in that product to maximize your profit margin. Because right now, these guys are extremely aggressive to get this product into your hands. And one of the things that we did when we all sat down and talked about how are we going to create this relationship with Wind Supply, one of the things that we're super excited about is we locked in the price for Wind Supply through July 1st. When everybody else is having price increases, not once, but maybe twice already this year, TCL is locked in with Wind Supply for the next 6 months. So talk to us a little bit, Wayne and Rick, like when you guys think about the available margins for guys by selling TCL, what's the first thing that you guys think about? What kind of gets you excited? All that stuff.
The opportunity to make money, to make that margin is just there. I mean, you could see it. You see it in the market right now with Bosch, right? Or some of this higher end product. People just aren't spending the money. Those $30,000 sales are not as easy to make as they were to make 2 years ago, right? It's just not there. So people are getting second opinions and and if they're going to get a second opinion, they're going to get that guy coming in at, $7,000 on a 5-ton split gas in an attic, single stage, that's just giving it away just because he makes $500 and that's good for him that week, and just this stuff's there. So you got to come up with a way to be affordable, but still be profitable. And I think that's the product that that was what drove me close to the TCL product is you could be super profitable and still be competitive.
How many of you guys already gotten pricing from Wayne or Rick about TCL?
Anybody?
No, not yet. Mine didn't go out this week. I wanted to see this first.
Yeah.
No, it's actually affordable. So I want to kind of come at this a little bit different. So obviously, with TCL, it's going to be it's an affordable product, but it's also well built. You guys saw the video. Factory workers don't show up hungover. They don't show up. They had a fight with their wife as they're getting off the phone with them. They don't call in sick. It runs 24 hours a day. If you look at the brazing on these things, they're amazing. You pull it up and look, the wiring, all that stuff. You can tell. I mean, when I was in the field, within 6 months, one time, I found two sets of wire strippers inside of carrier package units within 6 months. How does that even happen, right? So there's no human error there. But on the other side of it too, for you to translate to you guys, so you guys can make more money. What I want to say to you is especially the business owners here. Every business owner in the contracting side that I've always talked to, I always asked, why'd you become an owner? They said it always had something to do. They didn't like where they worked before, and they want to do things different because they were better than that. But yet when they go to price a job, they don't price it near as high as where they used to work. So they really don't believe in themselves because that's all a bunch of bullshit, excuse my language, because they don't believe in it when they price it out. Don't discount yourself. You guys are business owners because you're good at what you do and you believe in what you do. That should translate to your customers, and your customers should know your value. And don't diminish your value by becoming the low-cost leader. You don't need to work for wages. You need to work to build a business. And we want to find a product that we felt can support you with a brand name, with reliability, and speed to market, because like you said, we can have it. We'll be fully loaded. When I put the PO in today, we'll be fully stocked within 8 days.
But you can get it from today because he can get it from me.
Yeah, I can get it from
We have stock.
And that's one of the big things. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Go for it.
And that's one of the big things when we start talking about this concept and of that good, better, best sales process. That's why we want to talk about margins. Is when we lead with compressor type, or we lead with just SEER rating. Hey, here's a 14, a 16, and a 19. Right? We're sometimes forgetting the key component of all of this. And one thing that Dan always says to me and to other people, you never go broke taking a profit. So understand your numbers, understand your margins. When we sit down and we talk with the wind supply presidents, these guys are making decisions for themselves and for their community that they work in, right? Because they want to make sure they provide real value. So one of the things we talk about when we came to them and said, hey, we really want wind supply to carry TCL. First thing we talked about is how we're going to make this profitable, not just for them, but for you guys. That was one of our biggest talking points. Because at the end of the day, as you guys grow your business, we want to be there to help you every step of the way. Tools. How many of us get frustrated about having to order tools online? I know I do. I'm an instant gratification guy. If I don't have it at the store, I'm just like, screw it. Never mind. I don't need it anymore. One of the things with Wayne and Rick, their tools, they have the tools you need there. They have the torque wrench in stock, right? That you're going to need to install the Advantage series and the data systems. You don't have to go online to do these things. So it was important to find that right ecosystem. And we use that term a lot because we're all going to be in this together to help you guys.
Can I
Absolutely.
Can I jump on that
Yeah.
for a minute? So coming from the contracting side, when you talk about tools, one thing that we pride ourselves on is we don't rape you on tools. And if we don't have it, we'll get it. And I have yet to even be beat by Amazon.
Price check us.
Yeah,
Price check us.
We don't
crush everybody.
If you're a partner of ours, we're going to take care of you on tools, because if you need the tools to do the job to sell the other parts of the pieces. But I remember being in the field. It didn't matter if I needed gauges or if I needed a bar fold or whatever I needed. Man, it was like I had to go to, excuse my language, rape counseling afterwards. To get straight on that. So, but yeah, so we will take care of you on that kind of stuff. So please call us.
For me, it was hand seamers. I bet I got 50 pair of hand seamers. spread out through the valley. Every time I take fare in an attic, it was gone. It was getting dropped out of my bags or something, and the attic's full of them everywhere. I hated buying them, so I wanted to price them to where it was easier for you guys.
And it's all of those things that matter to your businesses, right? So one of the things I want you guys to know is whatever you have questions about, not just about equipment, but we at Fact Advisors offer opportunities inside of sales training. How many of us have ever done the train Wheel of Value train over the years? Anybody ever done that? It's the same training for the last 30 years, just FYI. Sometimes they now have a PDF you can download on your tablet. But we come at this and working with Wayne and Rick and the other wind supplies is we're going to be doing in-depth training on each and every one of these products, right? So you guys know it inside and out. We're going to be offering sales training. So if you do feel a little uncomfortable about offering inverters, about how to sell or how to even price a conversion from a heat pump, or how to even have that conversation with a customer, how to go from an 80% heat pump or 80% furnace to a heat pump. We're there to help you. That's a big thing for us. At Fact Advisors, working with Wind Supply was massive. Wayne and Rick have been huge advocates, not just for TCL brand, but for you guys to TCL. We had all the executives for TCL HVAC in this room, 3-4 weeks ago? Literally asking Wayne, and it was supposed to be Rick.
Hey, I had a mercy come up. You know how that goes, right?
Check his schedule.
What's the name of the training you said? So, Fact Advisors. So we have all kinds of different training options for you guys. But TCL was asking these guys, what do you need in your market? What can we give to you guys to help? So as you're working with Yardley at Surprise, as you're working with Rick and Kenny and Hans and all them at Southwest Phoenix and Rick and Wayne, we want to hear from you guys, right? Tell us what you need to be successful. What is it that you're going to look for in a partner?
An expansion on the training question as well. So just anecdotally, we were training in Las Vegas with Supply and a couple of their contractors. Legitimately, we sat down and we went price book wise what all their equipment options were and showed them the strategy of where to put TCL in that middle spot. It's going to take their highest converting, which is the middle offer. If anyone doesn't know that, we can go through why that is. But that middle offer, it was the one actually a lot of contractors are getting squeezed on. It's a bump up in quality of equipment or staging of equipment, but they don't have the confidence to price it all the way up to get that margin. So they end up squeezing it down. So instead of getting that 40 to 50 number, they're getting more like the 30 to 20 number, and they're squeezing the most commonly sold option. Flip to that around, we were able to consult on that and move that particular price book to where now they're at that 50 to 52% margin in that middle zone, and it's high value to the customer. They're getting a high SEER product that's fully variable. They're getting a brand name that is recognizable and they know. And now the contractor's actually making his highest margin in his middle tier. And that will save him this year. That will make his bottom line grow throughout a stagnant year in the marketplace. So that's what Andrew and that was through Wind Supply there in Vegas as well, coming in and helping coach up and really work in each individual model. And that wasn't true for several of the other contractors. Each one has their own thing. We're willing to work with individual contractors in their world, with their brands, how they go to their customers, to make sure that we can help them meet those needs and really win in the marketplace.
You have the manufacturer rep up here. You have the local presidents and owners. We want to hear from you guys. What questions do you have for us about TCL, or kind of what you're seeing in the market, or just have questions? Or what's what we're here for? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yes, we shouldn't be having no warranty products that are 3 months old.
Right. So great question. One of the great things with TCL, if you guys recall the map we put up, there is an entire Just Parts warehouse already online in Alabama. That way we can ship directly. But with our relationship with Wind Supply and here locally, especially with us here, if you have something that go wrong, there's 2 questions that our tech support team are going to ask you. Do you want a new unit or do you want the parts? Okay. So the reality of it is, if we got a DOA product, we're going to make it right. Customer advocacy and make it right mentality is massive, not only with FACT, but with TCL, which is why we're so happy to work with them. I'm going to give you guys an example. You hook up a unitary product, right? You hook up the Advantage series, go to start it up. We got a bad board. It's going to happen, right? Nothing is 0% failure rate. When that happens and my tech team asks you, do you want a new unit or do you want a new board? Most of the guys are going to say, I want a new board because I don't want to have to recover. and do all of that stuff. Our tech team will show up to Wayne or to Rick's store, pull that board for you and deliver it to you. And the reason for that is there's a lot of things you could still be doing to build value with your customer at that job site. Cleaning up, solidifying the relationship. You don't need to be running to them. We don't need Yardley trying to pull a board. We don't need Wayne to pull a board. He needs to be helping you sell more product and have everything ready. That takes him out of position. That takes you out of position. So that's our commitment on our side with TCL supporting and backing. And more importantly, that's the Wayne Wind Supply. And I won't speak for you guys, but talk a little bit about your feelings on warranties and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, regardless if TCL did it or not, I do it every day. If you need something coming from that side, we're not waiting for a part to get shipped. If it's like you hear all the parts 6 weeks out, if I've got the unit sitting there, we're going to bring the unit out there and pull the part out of it. It's just, I'm not going to do that to you guys. That would just drive me crazy. I've had it happen. Or what'd you do wrong? Why was that compressor dead at startup? What'd you do wrong? I turned it on. The compressor was locked up. You know,
Vacuum it out. That's what
but no, so yeah, we've done it already. Unfortunately, I've replaced some equipment that was install related, but we're going to take care of our guys. We're going to make sure your homeowners are taken care of.
and we'll never throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
We'll take full.
Yeah.
You can blame us, blame the manufacturer.
We'll work
we
it
don't
out in the
always
back
take.
end.
We don't.
Wait. Let's not blame the manufacturer.
Whatever. But we're never going to bash you. We'll have that conversation later, but we'll make sure they don't think it's you when we're done with it.
Yeah.
But on the warranty side of it, I think that's great because, I mean, I can remember, full disclosure, I used to be the GM at Chaz. I worked there for 20 years. We're the largest train dealer in the United States for privately owned, whatever. And I fought sometimes to get DOA units replaced. It was like pulling teeth. I don't care if you're them or if you're one man in your own truck or running by yourself. If it's DOA and we're going to take care of it. Now, if you can fix it, that's what you choose to do, and we give you the part. We just ask, because of that service, we can't pay for cranes, things like that, but that's a service you offer to your, service you offer to your customers. As far as the sales training, I want to just elaborate on that. Sitting in a class and doing sales training is fantastic. I love to do. I used to teach at the Heat Pump Council years ago, sales and customer service. But I would like to go ride along with you guys. I would love that. If you want me to come ride along with you, we'll schedule. You got some calls, like when it gets a little warm, I'll come out and ride with you because I can tell you I've done this in the past years ago. And I remember going with a guy. He didn't even know he would do this, but he would sit there and he would do the quote. And before the homeowner could answer it, he had lowered the price 3 times.
Yeah.
Like he negotiated with the customer 3 times before the customer ever even said anything other than asking about everything. He just started asking questions. He wasn't negotiating price. This guy wasn't doing anything. The customer wasn't doing anything. And there's also a lot of things like when you're sitting across with a customer, look at the wife. Because one time my wife was buying a one-ton pickup and the guy kept looking at me and my wife goes, I'm buying the truck. Why are you looking at him? I was just there to write the check. So, there's a lot of little things like that you don't realize you're not doing unless you have somebody with you. And I'm not going to intervene and get involved with it. You're just going to tell them you're training me. And I'm going to, but I'd be happy to ride with anybody. I love that kind of stuff. So
I'm really good at something, just came natural to me. I didn't have to work at it. I just did really well at that. So I'd be happy to, do the same thing right along like I'm training and just let you know what I thought after work and see if we can help you get better. That's how we all get better is practice. We would practice all the time. So one time we had a 5-person sales staff. Our closing ratios were within 1% of each other. Our average ticket was within like $100 of each other. We tracked our accessory percentages. We were within 1 or 2% of each other. It was almost identical across the board. But we would ride with each other. We would go, if somebody wasn't selling something, he'd take somebody with him. He'd come with me, see what I'm doing wrong. And we really worked hard at that and really.
And it was all based. So
we were back when there weren't very many $1 million sales guys. I think our average tickets at that time were like $5,000. We were selling package units worth $3,500. That's how old I am. And we had $5 million+ guys when, that was the top 2 or 3% of sales guys, and our whole team was doing it. So.
And it came from a position of empathy and consultative sales, not just trying to press everybody. You do consultative sales. You ask questions, you qualify them, and you sell them what they need, and you offer options. But you don't be a used car salesman. And when you do that, I think you come across as being genuine. That sometimes it'll come natural, but just how to present it, how to present that genuinity, or how you say that word, will be it takes practice.
How many of us how many of you guys got into HVAC because you were great salespeople? And you got your own business because you were really good at HVAC and you actually like it? Nobody here likes HVAC? The reality of it is we all got into this business because we were good at being a technician. We enjoyed it, or we worked at a bigger company and realized, hey, I could actually do something different. And I wanted to go against the status quo, right? That is the first step. Now, today we're competing against a lot of different factors, and sales is just a different skill set. I'm still the weirdo. Like if I have to work on a unit, I had to learn how to use digital gauges because I was using my old school analog gauges, right? I had to change, right? And it's a different skill set that we have to use all the time, right? So don't feel bad about flexing that sales muscle or strengthening that side of it, because that's only going to help you grow your brand, your business as you go through, and you have a partnership that's here to do it. So any other questions? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Have them in stock.
So yeah, he has them in stock. If you look, there's a brochure. It's called Multi-Zone. That'll walk you through all the different matchups and everything that we have to offer. In fact, we're releasing a new 4 and 5 ton. That's going to be 6 ports.
Yeah. As a distributor, I love it because the heads on the single zones match to the multi. So I only have to stock one. I don't have to stock a bunch of different ones like some of the other brands. So it makes it easier for you guys. If something was to happen, we'd have it.
Yep.
What about that's not dead on arrival?
It's still within the current 9-month window that we have 100%
9
authority
months,
with them to just replace the whole thing. We've been told that they will give us up to a year, and that's at TCL's discretion. Internally here, we kind of all have the agreement that we're going to a year on it. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, you lose a battle to win the war, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
the
the
reality.
thing. We see this.
Well, that's why we're doing it.
Yeah,
That's why we've all been there. We've all been there.
So we have seen this, and I mean, here's a question: how many of you guys think there's good service and distribution in the valley? Sir, like, are your distributors that you're buying from, are they providing you with good service? Are they taking care of you?
As long as it's Wind Supply Southwest Phoenix, right?
So where I was before, I didn't feel that way. So as a sales guy, I just like when I was in the home, I needed to believe in what I was going to sell. Right? Well, by the time I left where I was at, I just didn't feel that way. So it was really hard for me to go out and get new customers and, because I want to tell them the things that we're going to do. And when it wasn't happening and we weren't taking care of that, it just drives me crazy. So that was one of the big reasons I left and came here. So that's something we're going to bring back. We want to be a partner. So when stuff like that comes up, we're going to help. We're going to help figure it out because we know how important that customer is. Because if you take care of that customer, you're going to get 2 more, right? And then we're going to all benefit from it. So we want you guys to have that. Hey, you need it right now. I'm going to get it there right now. Like I said, we're not technicians. Yeah. And you get beat up.
Well, and even if it is on the manufacturer, blaming the manufacturer in front of the client doesn't help you because now they're like, well, then why did you sell me a $15,000 POS? Right? Well, the flip side is if you say, hey, no, this brand stands by everything, they're really good. They take care of it when it's done, then it elevates your credibility of why you picked that brand. And it doesn't create that negativity with the customer. Exactly.
Well, and to add to that point, on the other side of it too, when you're sitting across the table from them, they go, well, I didn't know TCL made air conditioning. I thought they made TVs. You say, well, they do, but the reason we choose them is because 1, the warranty's fantastic, and 2, in the unlikely event that you do have a problem, the support that we get behind them, they're going to take really good care of you, and they're going to help us take care of you.
And to me, I think COVID should have taught us all this, right? And that's probably not the right place to say it, but as a salesperson, you shouldn't be selling a brand. You shouldn't be logoed on your truck. You shouldn't be branding equipment because what happens when you can't get that? You show up and you've got that unit on your back, it's caked over the side of your vehicle. You show up at that homeowner's house and, well, that's what sell. I want that. Well, I can't get it. Right. Or there's an issue or something happens to it. That's like private labeling air conditioners. Why would you ever private label that? Every manufacturer goes through issues where a batch of copper was bad or something. And all of a sudden they have coil leaks or whatever. And now you're married to that, right? You private labeled that. Now that's your company that's the problem. So I really feel that should probably go away in this industry. You should be selling on your companies, your install, that type of thing. And when you want to get your sales guys to that next tier of selling, that's what's going to take them to that. Nowadays, what is it? $3, $4, $5 million a year salespeople, the top guys out there. That's what they're selling on. I learned that super early. I had a guy kicking my butt at Howard Air. And I was competing with him every day. It was like we had the same territory. And I'm like, man, our pricing's within a few $100. I mean, we just knew each other that well. And then one lady's, I was in the house and the lady's like, well, are you going to put a P-trap in? Well, yeah, everything that gets P-trap. Of course I'll put a P-trap. And then that's when I figured out that guy was selling on the install side of it. So I started incorporating what we were going to do on that job. Before you know, that guy never got it. I mean, I was taking everything from as much as him going to him and being like, hey, who is that guy? And why is he beating me? Why is he taking all my sales? And it's just, once you get to that next level of it, you learn that you're selling on your company and on your install of what you're going to do, for them then and after.
And that's like in the presentation early on, I hit on it with the concept that it's value-based sales. You got to build value with the customer on everything that you do, your expertise, your knowledge base, the quality of work you and your company are going to bring to it, and the way that the products you supply are stood behind by the manufacturers. All of those things build value with that customer that take the price argument and put it to the side. We have all bought products that we saw the best value in, not the cheapest. And that is where it's got to be. And so training those skills, working those strategies, and really figuring out that mechanics is going to be important to win in this marketplace. And that the big guys are going to do. That they're increasing every single one of their sales trainings. Their marketing teams are redoing their lead gen programs to really maximize market share acquisition. So if you're not fighting back by sharpening your skill set, your tools, and your lineup the right way, then they're going to take the market share this year. But we don't want that, and that's why we're all here.
And that's the big thing is I want you guys to understand as the rep side, as the manufacturer side, our goal and our mandate is to lead contractor first, which is why the alignment with Wind Supply works so well. Because when we can help you guys and support you guys to be successful, what does that mean? It means you're buying more product. It means you're going to Wind Supply a lot more, which means they're ordering from me. They're ordering from TCL. Those are all really good things, but we don't get there if we're not supporting you guys in the field, if we're not giving you the tools necessary and the belief in your brand that you guys have blood, sweat, and tears into your business. We've all been there. And so when we understand that, we look at that and say, our job is to help support your brand, right? And that's the most important thing. So as we build that and we move that way in warranty, in all of those things, it's all geared to elevating and building your brand. So that's the commitment you have from all of us. What else before we kind of wrap up the roundtable? Anything else?
Do you guys have that program, TCL, that get how do you sign up for that? Is that through you guys, your website? Or?
Yep. So that's going to actually be.
That's going to be through us. You heard about it the same time I did.
That was new. We're learning this year was the section that's in it. It's really new.
We knew what was coming, but they just finished it. So once they get all that, we'll
The Inspire program?
Yep, the Inspire program.
I can't get around.
It's old.
These guys are so old, you can blame them for all the get old piggybacks with swamp coolers on.
That was competition. Never worked for them, huh? We all left there.
No.
Well, I wasn't Webb, it was Ferguson, but we
didn't
Well,
work
I'm
at
sure it was like,
yes, but
when
yeah.
I started, your approach right now,
how Keith did it.
Mhm.
Yeah. We were customers for them.
yes, when Ferguson took over, we started noticing that approach.
It's
Yeah.
corporate, right? So, and it's not their fault. They have good people over there, but they have a corporate structure that they have to follow.
And it's
And
not,
so does Sigler, and so does, Goodman, and so does everybody else. We just don't have that. I mean, we have a few rules that we have to stick with them, but it really doesn't have anything to do with what we sell and how we sell it, right? Legal and ethical, right? Be good people. That's their one.
And we can't go out and buy a $200,000 Ferrari because
Yeah.
we want one for a company vehicle.
Yeah.
We have to get it approved.
Yeah,
Things
yeah. Really, the only thing we have to talk to Wind
But as
Supply is
far-
purchases
As
outside
far
of
as taking care of you
inventory.
guys, there's nothing we can't do. And I give you,
Yeah.
just kind of an anecdotal before we close out. It took a lot of processing and thought to put teams together. When you build a team, you know what kind of person you want, right? We put all of our teams through personality assessment, so we know how to manage them. We know what kind of personality they have. We know what kind of customer service they can do. To that point, my ops manager, Hans, if you got most of you guys might know him from being at Ferguson for years. So not only does he have more years in the hose size sale than I do, his dad was a contractor at one point, so he actually knows what the parts mean. My Lupe in the back there, he's my warehouse manager. He's not just a warehouse manager. He's worked in the field. He does installs. He knows what those parts are. So when he double checks the other guys pulling the orders, he knows they're not just widgets like other places have. And we can train those guys and teach them what they are and take them out to a job and show them this is what they're for. So they start learning. So it's not just widgets. And then finally, like when they talk about their customer service, about coming getting the part, and they align with me, and I'm going to pat myself on the back, but there's a reason. On election night, we opened up a unit from another manufacturer. That was Tuesday on election night last year, and it was damaged, and it was the only one we had, and we had to have it. The customer had to have it on Thursday. I drove to Castle Rock, Colorado, and by noon I was gone to Castle Rock, Colorado. I drove 13 and a half hours to go pick that unit up, slept for like 3 hours, 4 hours, got up, was at their shop at 6, drove 13 and a half hours back the next day on Wednesday, had the unit at it was for my next door neighbor. Had it for that. But it doesn't matter. It's just the fact that it was a new home, but they needed it to get the inspection done. My point being with that is that we know what it's like, to be in your shoes and to have to tell your customers, whether it's a general contractor or whether it's a homeowner, that you can't perform the way you promised them because of us. And we don't ever want it to be because of us. I mean, even when I was, just an install manager, not even the general manager at Chaz, just the install manager, I would tell all my team, we're going to figure out how to get these done today. If we can get this in today, we're going to get it in today. If not, we're going to get it tomorrow. We'll never go more than one day. And we had guys that could change 3 package units out in a day, do a split, we'd schedule a package in it. There's a whole management process around that. If you're managing teams, like scheduling your cranes, and I tell the crane guy, if they call you off, I'll fire you. If you call off and they call you off and you do it without me telling you, I'll fire you. Because I had those things done so they could hustle and get to it. If he called them off, there's no incentive for them to hustle and get it done, right? So, Kevin, he was a real good friend of mine. I would have never really fired him, but he just never did that back then. So everything was about managing and making sure that homeowner was taken care of. And we feel we're bringing that same approach to you guys, just in a different, we're just down the food chain a little bit more, but we still want to provide that same service for you.
Service first and make it right advocacy. That's what we're all about. Anything else before we wrap this up? Questions, thoughts, comments? All right. So I'm going to do a little shameless plug for a quick second. So we talked about giving away Measure Quick, a subscription for that for a year. What I want you to get, does everybody have Instagram? I'm sure they do. Right? No. Man, we got a lot of heads shaking no.
My wife might have it.
There you go. Well, you're not going to get it anyway. If you're on Instagram, check us out at Fact Advisors. We have a lot of content. You might see some of the content up here, but just go ahead and follow us on there. Shoot us a DM that just says training on it. And we're going to give away those memberships. Anything else real quick? No? Awesome. First and foremost, good shout out to the Wind Supply guys. Thank you guys so much for putting this all together and letting us hang out in the room. Appreciate you guys and everything you're doing for the contractors. It's